Maggie Clark, it's such a delight to get to meet you and to know that you're participating in the golden wisdom of love, legacies, and legends. I got them mixed up. Wisdom of love, legends, and legacies. What made you decide you wanted to participate in a chapter of this book?
I actually feel that everyone has a legacy to leave behind, and
Absolutely.
everyone carries soul wisdom that courses through their entire being, how they experience life, what they choose in life, how they go forward in life. And the combination of that is just, it's outstanding to think of what stories could be told. And, and coming up with, okay, what do I want to write? I think I wrote like 5 chapters and was like, I don't even know which one I want to submit because they're all this piece of wisdom that just kind of really will reverberate with me through my whole life.
That is so interesting. It's so cool too, because I'm on a mission. I have a book that I'm starting to write. It's called the Eight Sacred Words and a Tapestry of Wisdom. And I work with authors every day that are bringing these magnificent books to the world, and I've learned through every one of them. It's just been really amazing.
It
Yeah,
is amazing, outstanding,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. And what's the name of your chapter?
I haven't actually named it. I have to name it today, but I believe I'm gonna call it The Moon Legacy.
The Moon Legacy. How
Mhm.
beautiful. Very fascinating.
Yes. Yes, I started the first time I ever remember channeling, I was in a full moon ceremony, and I was in the act of being the high priestess of really forming the ceremony, cultivating the ceremony. And I remember when we were drawing down the moon, the beautiful sensation of channeling that moon energy. And it was just like, oh, it was so empowering. It was so uplifting. And it was so natural. It was completely natural. And so when I actually started writing, it was way after I had been doing ceremonies, but I felt the same sensation when I was writing. And so channeling for me has always been this beautiful place where it is effortless. It just absolutely happens and you just open up and you're like, "Ah, there it is."
How beautiful.
Mhm.
Very beautiful. So, the work you do in the world, um, you work with your husband with the podcasts, correct?
Yes, I have 2 podcasts. So, I'm with my husband and I do Psychic Evolution podcast, and then I've also teamed up with 2 other female friends of mine, and we do a podcast called The Goddess, the Witch, and the Womb. And it's
Oh,
all about oh, it's wonderful. It's all about the divine feminine and really tapping into that ancestral lineage, sacred sexuality, and also how you can feel really empowered in your own divine feminine energy, your own sovereignty.
how interesting. That's
Mhm.
beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you find your passion?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I had a couple of spiritual awakening experiences when I was 19 and 20. The first one was I accidentally woke up my kundalini and scared the crap out of myself, paralyzed myself too, by the way, and
You're
I had to
like,
figure out I know, like, I had to figure out what to do with it, because it's something that I wanted to explore, but it was very scary, very intense at the time, and so, about, like, maybe a few months after that, I met my mentor, and he gave me a tarot reading on my soul purpose. It changed my life completely. It's like the wool that was over my eyes got lifted. Like all of a sudden, I could feel who I really was. And I was like, I was so tapped into the resonance and the information and the wisdom that he imparted in that reading. I was like, finally, I figured out this is what I want. This is who I am. Like, this is it. This is the
how
good stuff.
beautiful.
It triggered such a remembering and an awakening within me, and so I actually I did all the things you shouldn't do. I dropped out of college and started my spiritual path.
Oh, maybe you should have done that too.
Exactly, exactly. I was like, "Okay, this is it," like, "This is my lane." I went to school even after that for a while, but I just realized, like, the passion that I had wasn't in the direction I was going that I had chosen. And so I let myself detour, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And then I apprenticed with my mentor for 16 years. He was a
Wow.
professional psychic and astrologer, and it was old school apprenticeship, like sitting at the feet of a master, so to speak, even though he would never, like, think of himself or even tell people that he was a master. But it was wonderful. I got to read people. I got to sit on thousands of soul readings, thousands of astrology readings, just to like let that settle in and like be able to read the energy present when you're talking with someone, like whether it was
Mm.
through a chart or through the tarot cards or whatever, whatever platform we were using. I studied a ton. I learned energy healing also from him. He had stage 4 cancer when he was 36. And so when I met him, it was 14 years after that, and his cancer just went into remission.
Wow.
And he was just like this exploratory of alternative healing. And back in the early 90s, that was like fairly new. It had been
Mhm.
going on for years, but not as common as you would think. So I really learned a lot of alternative healing, energy healing. I learned how to do remote healing. That was my first modality, which is usually people's last modality, but I was like, let's go for it. And then later on, after he passed, I actually studied more healing modalities. Was very attracted to Jin Shin Jitsu and cranial sacral therapy. So I became a practitioner of both of those, opened up
Wow.
my own healing practice. So
Wow, that's
really,
amazing.
oh gosh, it's been such a beautiful journey of just a natural, like, being able to study, being able to integrate, being able to move forward. And, I think when you study under someone, we don't see this very often in the world. Usually you take a class or you go to a school and then you get done and you're on your own. But to have 16 years with someone,
That's a lot of years of just taking
oh,
in and soaking in the wisdom and the grandeur of it all.
yes, and
Yeah.
on top of it, he was a trans channel, so I was able to experience the entities he channeled, including angels and ascended masters at times and different, aspects of energies that would channel through him. It was really a beautiful experience. It gave me such a wide understanding of spirituality, metaphysical topics, and things that you could explore and express.
Wow, beautiful. So when somebody picks up this copy of this book and reads your chapter, what do you hope they gain from that?
Well, first, inspiration. I love to ignite the flame of higher wisdom in other people. I love to just set a fire under someone and be like, check it out. Explore it, go for it. And this chapter is about connecting to your own creative energy. I believe that creativity is an energy that flows through every person in the universe. I believe it's part of the divine feminine creative matrix that we're all born to, the web of creation. And when we can tap into our own divine feminine, and bring it into balance with our divine masculine, this is where all the beauty of life happens. This is where we find our truest expression, our truest form, our truest connection to source, and we're able to share our own wisdom. We're able to share our authenticity, and also really just, I want people to know it can be something so simple. It doesn't have to be, someone teaches you this and then you do this. You can create your own way. And
Hmm.
this is chapter is about me creating my own way. No one taught me how to do a ceremony. I learned by reading books and having examples, and I and
And
I
by
just
listening,
yeah, I
yeah,
just did my own
yeah.
thing, and then I helped so many people, and I helped myself just kind of resonate with that frequency. And I think it's part of what I'd love people just to inspire people to tap into their creative potential, because when they're creating and co-creating with the universe, they're going to have their life of their dreams. They're going to feel fulfilled and happy and inspired and energetic, and that's really my passion. And I love to teach. That's my other passion. But I like to inspire people too, be like, hey, you can feel amazing every day when you're tapped into that creativity.
That's beautiful. Wow, what an honor to meet you and be able to.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read your chapter.
Thank
That's
you.
incredible.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for participating in this beautiful series. It's Guiding Gaze series by Sandy and Sharon has been. I was in the first book, Wisdom of the Silver Sisters, and this is just such a beautiful progression to the next step.
It's amazing. Yes. And we had them on our podcast, on the Psychic Evolution podcast. So I know we're definitely going to plan another interview with them once the book's released. So
How awesome.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank you for being the you that you are. And it's been a delight to get to meet you. I hope to meet you in person soon.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Thanks, Becky, for having
right.
me.
All righty.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Beautiful.